Today, we'll be looking at an unsung hero in the Rolex professional lineup. In a world chocked full of Submariners, GMT Master 2s, and Daytonas, one model seems to avert the public limelight, despite staying true to its roots. Let's take a look at the Rolex Explorer 2, reference 226570, in the black dial variation. And I'll share why it is still one of the top underdogs in the Rolex lineup, and a watch I can't seem to forget about, despite having departed from my personal collection months ago. The term tool watch gets thrown around a lot in the watch world, so much so that it starts to become dull and lose its meaning. What exactly constitutes a tool watch? Most watches were designed with a specific function in mind. The Submariner was designed to dive, the GMT Master for travel, and the Daytona for timing laps around the racetrack. All of these watches are still tool watches in the purest sense of the word. Their glossy dials and ceramic bezels make them look less utilitarian, sure, but these materials were also largely chosen for a purpose, to resist tarnish and scratches, for example. So why is the Explorer 2 still largely considered to be a true tool watch? Perhaps it really is the visually conservative and restrained elements of the design. An absence of a glossy ceramic bezel gives way to a radially brushed stainless steel bezel. The orange 24-hour or GMT hand, despite being on a brief hiatus during the reign of the 16570, was a purpose-built design choice to aid in legibility and has been a mainstay of the model since 1971, when the Explorer 2 was first conceived with the reference 1655, originally designed for cave explorers. I'm partial to the black dial due to my love for the 1655, and I believe it is closer to its forefather, despite all the hype surrounding the polar dial variant. Unlike the polished center links on the bracelets of modern-day Daytona and GMT Master 2s, the Explorer 2 remains all brushed throughout, save for the flanks of the bracelet, case, and outer edges of the bezel. Although the hour markers and hands have been modified to mirror the likes of the Submariner date in GMT Master 2, and the 24-hour bezel's font has essentially become an inverted version of the GMT Master 2, there is just something about the overall look and feel of the Explorer 2 that evokes the nostalgia of the original 1655 and delivers a zero-nonsense, irresistible charm and character that feels just as good on wrist as it looks. The look, feel, and design ethos of this watch delivers the it factor of tool watches, somehow somewhat forgotten amongst other models. Perhaps this is why it's considered to be a true tool watch, alongside its older sibling, the Explorer 1. Let's go through some of the formalities. The Explorer 2, reference 226570, which was released in 2021, measures 42 millimeters in diameter, is 12.5 millimeters thick, has a 22 millimeter lug width, and an absolute lug-to-lug or wingspan of 53.1 millimeters or 50.1 millimeters without the bracelet. Powering the watch is the caliber 3285, which features a 70-hour power reserve, a convenient true GMT function with local jump hour hand, and all that good patented Rolex Para technology that I won't beat to death here. The watch has a glossy ceramic dial with highly legible Maxi indices which are all finished in 18 karat white gold and carry ample amounts of chromolite blue lume. The clasp features a wonderful easy link on the fly adjustment system. Overall, I love the way this watch wears. The low stance of the case makes it an easy one to wear under sleeves of varying tolerances. The robustness of Rolex sport watches really make them great daily companions, offering superior water resistance, legibility, and comfort, and this watch is no exception. The Explorer 2 carries a bold presence on the wrist with its generous 42mm case, but doesn't catch attention in the same way as, say, my GMT Master 2 Batman. It's not intentionally trying to look like a vintage watch. I'm looking at you, Tudor Black Bay Pro. But it's also not refusing to step into the modern arena with the latest materials, technology, and finishing. But it hasn't completely sold its soul either. Rolex quickly squashed speculations that the 2021 release would include a ceramic bezel. The stainless steel appears as it is here to stay, and all is good in the watch universe. In fact, the Explorer 2 hasn't changed much since the last reference, the 216570. The floating hands of the 216570 black dial is no more, with the hour, minutes, and 24-hour hand now carrying the same finishing and color throughout. The case is still on the larger side for Rolex professional models at 42mm, but the lugs have been tapered slightly for a less boxy appearance on the case and to accommodate for the new 22mm wide bracelet. Being on the more moderately wristed side myself, with a wrist circumference of just over 6.5 inches, you already know what my only big complaint is going to be. This watch wears rather large. It wears larger than the 41mm Submariner, my GMT Master 2, and although I haven't personally tried one on, the wearing experience is probably closer to the 43mm Sea Dweller. The watch just feels a bit bloated and wide, and I think that Rolex has chosen form over function with this one. I think I stand shoulder to shoulder with many others that wish this new Explorer 2 had the proportions of the new Sub or the earlier 16570s. The only real gripe I have by any first world definition of that word would be in regards to the versatility of this timepiece. The all brushed finishing in large black numerals against the 24-hour steel bezel definitely just exude sport over dress, while other timepieces in the Rolex professional catalog are more adept at towing this line. The limitations of its versatility isn't helped by the objective dimensions of this watch either. No watch is without its flaws and limitations, but that doesn't stop the Explorer 2 from being one hell of a timepiece that it is. This thing can handle anything your life throws at it, including and up to taking up the profession of being a spelunker. It hasn't lost its fundamentals, or if we're being fancy, its je ne sais quoi. As with life in general, some good things aren't meant to last, and sadly, I had to move this watch on from my collection. I have a GMT Master 2 and Explorer 1, and I felt that keeping the Explorer 2 would create some redundancy in the collection, especially while on a budget, like most of us are. So this watch is gone, but certainly not forgotten. Watch collecting is an emotional experience, and even a nostalgic one. When we look back on the memories we had with a certain timepiece on our wrist. I think the fact that I'm writing this love letter long after I've sold the watch is a testament to its charm and staying power. The Explorer 2 is not just the top underdog in the Rolex lineup, but it's arguably the top dog at maintaining its core identity throughout the years. One thing I can say for certain is that it'll bring you joy and serve as your constant companion as you embark upon life's ups and downs in the same way it has for me. Never change your ways, Explorer 2. Thanks for tuning in today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Explorer 2. Please feel free to leave any comments and constructive criticism down below. Till next time, Take care.